Hello students, I welcome you all to the 6th session of electricity. This will be your last session in electricity. I want all of you to make note of the numericals which you are going to learn today in this session. In today's session, you are going to learn these concepts. Numericals based on resistances connected in series. Numericals based on resistances connected in parallel. Numericals based on resistances connected in both series and parallel in the same circuit. You can see the combination of both series and parallel in the same circuit in these problems. Numerical based on electric power. Hope all of you remember three formulae which are there for electric power. That is P is equal to VI, P is equal to V square by R, P is equal to I square R. Numerical based on electrical energy and its consumption. Numericals based on the Joule's law. Finally, the last concept of this unit, applications of heating effect of electric current. And then we are going to glimpse all the important points in this chapter.
Dear students, before we start, I want all of you to glance all these formulae once, so that it is going to be easy to you to apply these formula wherever it is required. We shall start with the problems now. Resistances in series and resistances in parallel. The first problem is calculate the effective resistance in the given circuit. Observe the circuit here. How many resistors are there? There are two resistors, isn't it? And they are being connected in series combination. So we shall take the first resistor as R1 and the second resistor as R2. So what will be the formula? Hope all of you remember. Effective resistance in case of series is written as RS. So RS is equal to R1 plus R2. We are writing it only till R2 because we have only two resistors here. Suppose if there are three resistors, what will you do? You will be writing plus R3. Since we have only two resistors here, we are stopping the formula here itself. That is RS is equal to R1 plus R2. When you substitute the values of R1 and R2, it is going to be 2 ohms plus 5 ohms. So it is 7 ohms. Dear students, hope all of you remember whenever resistors are connected in series, the overall resistance will increase. You can see the number here, it is 7 ohms. And what were the number? Here it is 2 ohms and 5 ohms. If you see numerically, it is increased. You should remember this always. Whenever resistors are connected in series, the overall resistance will be increased. Second problem, calculate the effective resistance in the given circuit. Here you can observe the resistors are connected in parallel and there are three resistors. So what will be the formula? It is going to be 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Suppose if there were only two resistors, you will stop it here itself. That is 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Since we have 3, we have written it like this. Then substitute the values of R1, R2 and R3. It is going to be like this. 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5. All of you know how to take LCM, isn't it? LCM of 2, 3 and 5 is 30. And simplification after LCM will make the numerator like this. That is 15 plus 10 plus 6. And the sum of these three numbers is 31. So it is going to be 31 by 30. And this is the value of 1 by Rp. So 1 by Rp is 31 by 30. But what do we require? Do we require 1 by Rp? No, we require Rp. How can you get Rp value from this? If you reciprocate this equation, you will get it, isn't it? So if you reciprocate this, you are going to get it as 30 by 31. And when you divide these two numbers, what will be the quotient? This is your quotient, 0.967. Dear students, if this is not terminating, you can stop it for 3 numbers. So the effective resistance in this case is 0.967 ohms. You can observe all the three values here, that is 2 ohms, 3 ohms and 5 ohms in the question. The least resistor is 2 ohms. And if you see the answer here, what is the answer? 0.967. It is lesser than the least resistor used in the combination. So what can you say from this? You should remember, whenever resistors are connected in parallel, the overall resistance is going to be decreased. You should be remembering this always. In both the cases, in series the resistance will increase, in parallel the resistance will decrease. How much it is going to decrease? It is going to be lesser than the least resistance used in the combination. Hope it is clear to you all. Next problem. 3 resistors are connected as shown in the circuit diagram. Through the resistor 5 ohms, a current of 2 ampere is flowing. What is the current through the other 2 resistors? What is the potential difference across AB? What is the total resistance? You are expected to answer all these 3 questions. Circuit diagram is given in the question. First one, what is the current through the other 2 resistors? Which are the other 2 resistors? 10 ohms and 15 ohms, because for 5 ohms the current is being given, that is 2 amperes. So you should be finding it individually for both the resistors. To find that, what do we require? We have R value. We require voltage value also to find I, because I is equal to V by R. Then for the other resistor also we should find in the same way. We require voltage and resistance value. Resistance value is 15 ohms. Voltage you have to find this. You will be getting the voltage if you find the answer for the second question. All of us know voltage remains constant when it is parallel. So first find the answer for the second question, that is, what is the potential difference across AB? What will be the potential difference? Potential difference across AB, we can find it using the formula I is equal to V by R. So if you modify this, you will be getting V is equal to IR. What is the value of I? What is the current that is flowing through this? It is 2 amperes. So I is 2 amperes. And what is the resistance between this AB? Across AB the resistance is 5 ohms. So R is 5 ohms. So what will be the voltage? V is equal to IR. So V is equal to 2 into 5, that is 10 volts. So we are going to use this as voltage now, because the voltage remains constant. Now coming to the first question, what is the current through the other 2 resistors? So the other 2 resistors are 10 ohms and 15 ohms. We have to find the current through these resistors. First one, for 10 ohms resistance, current formula is I is equal to V by R. Just now we found voltage is 10. What is the R value? R is 10 ohms, because we are finding this resistors only. So R is 10. So 10 by 10 is 1. Therefore the current that is flowing through 10 ohms resistance is 1 ampere. Now similarly you have to find for 15 ohms resistance. Formula remains same. I is equal to V by R. V value is 10 volts, which is a constant, and then R value is 15 for this problem. So it is going to be 10 divided by 15. It is 0.7 amperes. So 0.7 amperes of current is flowing through 15 ohms resistance. So we are done with the first 2 questions. This is only to put you all in confusion how to find the current without knowing the voltage. So even if the second question is given or not given, you have to find the voltage. Only then you can find the current through these 2 resistors. Then coming to the third question, what is the total resistance? That means the equivalent resistance in the complete circuit. You can observe 10 ohms and 15 ohms resistors are connected in parallel, and these 2 resistors together are connected in series with 5 ohms resistance. So keeping all these in mind, you have to find the total resistance. So total resistance will be 10 ohms and 15 ohms are connected in parallel, that is these both resistors. So first find the equivalent resistance in this case. So find out the RP value. So what is the formula when the resistors are connected in parallel, 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. R1 is 10 and R2 is 15. So the formula is going to be like this. 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15. What is the LCM of 10 and 15? It is 30. Later, if you simplify, the numerator is going to be 3 plus 2. So it is 5 by 30. Both are multiples of 5. So if you simplify, it is going to be 1 by 6. So the value of 1 by Rp is 1 by 6. But what should we find? We should find Rp. From this 1 by Rp, we should find Rp. How can you find? If you reciprocate, you will get. What is the reciprocated value of 1 by 6? It is 6. So the equivalent resistance when these two resistors, that is 10 ohms and 15 ohms, are connected in parallel is 6 ohms. Now this value is 6 ohms, which is connected in series with the another resistor 5 ohms. So when they are connected in series, how do you find the resistance? You are going to add them, isn't it? So it is going to be Rs plus Rp. Which is the resistor which is connected in series? 5 ohms. Then what is the value of resistors which are connected in parallel? We found no, just now it is 6 ohms. So 5 plus 6 is 11 ohms. So this is the total resistance in the circuit. Hope it is clear to you all.
Next problem. What will be the current drawn by an electric bulb of 40 watts when it is connected to a source of 220 volts? So first, let us make note of the given information, that is power is given. Power is 40 watts. Then voltage is given, it is 220 volts. Usually most of the problems will have the same voltage since the supply line in our country India, it is 220 volts only. To find I is equal to question mark. We know that P is equal to VI, isn't it? So now in this problem they are asking you to find current. So modify this formula in such a way that I goes to LHS. So I is equal to P divided by V. What is the value of P? P is 40 and V is 220. So it is going to be 40 divided by 220. And when you simplify this, it is going to be 2 divided by 11. And the value of 2 divided by 11 is 0.18. Therefore, the current drawn is 0.18 ampere. Don't forget to write the SI unit. Hope you all understood this problem. Next one. An electric bulb is rated 220 volts and 100 watts. When it is operated on 110 volts, the power will be dash. You are going to find out the power in this case. What is given? Voltage is given. So V is equal to 220 volts and power is 100 watts. So first we should find out the resistance in this case, that is electric bulb is rated 220 volts in 100 watts. So using these two information, if you find out and keep the resistance, you can find the power in the next case, that is when the voltage is reduced to 110 volts. Because resistance remains constant, isn't it? Only the voltage is changing here. So V is equal to 220 volt and P is equal to 100 watts is for the first condition. So when operated on 110 volts, what is the power you are going to find? To find this, we should find resistance of this circuit. How do you find resistance when you know V and P value? There are three formula for P, isn't it? So you are going to use P is equal to V square by R. Because we know the values of P and V here. So we are going to find R. But how do you find R? You should modify this formula in such a way that R goes to LHS. So the formula will be like this. R is equal to V square by P. What is V? V is 220. So V square is going to be 220 square. P value is 100. And when you simplify this through calculations, you will be getting the resistance as 484 ohms. So you will be using the resistance same, that is 484 ohms, and you will be calculating the power when the voltage is 110 volts. So in the second case, power should be calculated with V as 110 volts and with the same resistance of 484 ohms. So again, which formula are you going to use? Here also we know voltage, we know resistance. So you should be using this formula only. P is equal to V square by R. There is no requirement of any modification because we are finding P and it is already in LHS. So P is equal to V square by R. What is V? V is 110. So V square is going to be 110 square. And R is 484. And when you do the calculations, it is going to be 25. Therefore, power is 25 watts. Watt is the SI unit of power. So keep it in watts. Answer is 25 watts. Next problem is based on an electric heater. An electric heater draws a current of 10 amperes from a 220 volt supply line. What is the cost of using the heater for 5 hours every day for 30 days? If the cost of 1 unit, that is 1 kilowatt hour, 1 unit's value is 1 kilowatt hour, is 5 rupees 20 paise. This is your question from the given information here. First we shall make note of the given information. Here V is 220 volts and I is 10 ampere. So using this you can find the power. What is the formula for calculating power when you know V and I? P is equal to VI. So if you substitute those two values, it is going to be 220 into 10, which is 2200. What is the unit? Watts. So power is 2200 watts. All of us know 1000 watt means it is 1 kilowatt, isn't it? So if it is 2200 watts, how do you convert that in kilowatt? You're going to divide that with 1000. So it is going to be 2.2 kilowatts. So we are done with the calculation of power. They are asking you to find electrical energy consumption. So electrical energy consumed will be E is equal to PT. That is the product of power and time. What is the time given in the question? It is given as 5 hours. So you are going to multiply power with time. What is the power in kilowatt hour? We already converted and kept it in kilowatts, isn't it? So it is 2.2. So P value is 2.2 and T is 5. So 2.2 into 5 will give you the electrical energy. That is 11 kilowatt hour. So this will be the value for 1 day. How many days are they asking you to find? It is for 30 days. So electrical energy consumed in 1 day is 11 kilowatt hour. Then electrical energy consumed in 30 days will be 11 kilowatt hour into 30, which is 330 kilowatt hour. That means 330 units. It is given clearly in the question. 1 unit is 1 kilowatt hour, isn't it? You should be remembering this. This is a constant value. So 330 kilowatt hour means it is going to be 330 units. So cost of 1 unit of electricity is given as 5 rupee 20 paise. So what will be the cost of 330 units of electricity used? That is going to be rupees 5.20 into 330. The answer is 1716. Should be kept in rupees because it is money. Next problem is based on an electric iron box. A potential difference of 250 volts is applied across a resistance of 500 ohms in an electric iron. Calculate the following. First one, current. Second one, heat energy produced in joules in 10 seconds. So you are going to find two answers for the same question here. First one, to find current. What are the information that is suitable to find current from the question? It is given that voltage is 250 volts, isn't it? So V is 250 volts and R is 500 ohms. What is R? R is resistance. Then we know that V is equal to IR, isn't it? We got this from Ohm's law. From this you have to modify the formula in such a way that I comes to LHS. So I is going to be V by R. V value is 250 and R value is 500. So it is going to be 1 divided by 2. What is the value of 1 divided by 2? It is 0.5. Therefore current is 0.5 ampere. So we are done with the first question. Now the second sub question, heat energy produced. You are going to calculate heat energy produced in joules for 10 seconds. So all of us know how to find heat. We have the formula from Joule's law, that is H is equal to I square RT. Do you require any modification here? No, because already we have the unknown quantity, that is heat, in LHS. So you can apply the formula as it is with the given values. What is the value of I? I is 0.5, R is 500 and T is 10 seconds. So I square means it is going to be 0.5 square. What is the value of 0.5 square? It is 0.25. Remaining numbers as it is, 500 into 10. So when you multiply these three numbers, you are going to get 1250. And what are we calculating? We are calculating heat. So you are going to keep it in joules. Hope it is clear to you all.
Dear students, this is going to be the last concept in this chapter, electricity. That is, applications of heating effect of electric current. The heating effect of current is utilized in working of electrical heating appliances such as electric iron, electric kettle, electric toaster, electric oven, room heaters, water heaters, etc. All these heating appliances contains coils of high resistance, usually made up of nichrome alloy. You can see that here in the electric kettle, which is given here. You can see the nichrome wire, which is used as a heating coil inside the kettle. When these type of appliances are connected to power supply by insulated copper wires, then a large amount of heat is produced in the heating coils. Why? Because the heating coils, which is made up of nichrome, will have high resistance, but copper has very low resistance. That is why it is used as connecting wire. A negligible heat is produced in the connecting wire, which is made up of copper, because of its low resistance. For example, the heating element of an electric heater made up of nichrome glows because it becomes red hot due to the large amount of heat produced on passing the current. But the cord or the connecting cable of the electric heater, which is made up of copper, does not glow. Why? Because negligible heat is produced in it by passing the current because of its extremely low resistance. The temperature of the heating element or any heating device, it becomes red hot and glows up to 900 degrees Celsius. It is only because of the high resistance of the nichrome, which is used as a heating coil. So hope it is clear to you all. Why heating coils are made up of nichrome? It is because of its high resistance. And why connecting wires are made using copper? Because of its less resistance.
So hope it is clear to you all which are the appliances that work on heating effect of electric current and what are the heating coils in those appliances made up of. You should be knowing the heating coils are made up of substances which have very high resistance and very high melting point. If you remember this, you can understand the heating effect of electric current very easily. So the heating effect of electric current is used in electrical appliances like electric heater, electric iron, electric room heater, immersion heater, electric kettle, hair dryer, etc. All these appliances have a coil of wire called an element. When electric current flows through this element, it becomes hot and gives out heat. The amount of heat produced in a wire depends upon its material, length and thickness. And what is the material used? It is a material like nichrome, whose resistance is very, very high. Also, the melting point. Melting point will also be very high in case of nichrome. That is why it is used as a heating coil. You will explain that in detail now.
The heating effect of electric current is utilized in electric bulb also. which is also called as electric lamp. Why it is utilized here? It is not utilized to produce heat, but it is utilized to produce light. But the effect is heating effect only. When electric current passes through a very thin, high resistance tungsten filament of an electric bulb, the filament becomes white hot and it starts emitting light. You should know that the same current flowing through the tungsten filament of an electric bulb produces enormous heat, but almost negligible heat is produced in the connecting wires of copper. This is because of the fact that the fine tungsten filament has a very high resistance, whereas copper connecting wires have very low resistance. Tungsten metal is used for making the filaments of electric bulbs because it has a very high melting point. It will be having melting point of 3380 degrees Celsius. Due to its very high melting point, the tungsten filament can be kept white hot without melting away. The other properties of tungsten which makes it suitable for making filaments of electric bulbs are its high flexibility and low rate of evaporation even at high temperatures. You should also be knowing what is the gas that is present inside the bulb. Have you ever wondered what it is? You will know now. If air present in an electric bulb, then the extremely hot tungsten filament would burn up quickly in the oxygen, isn't it? So, the electric bulb is filled with a chemically unreactive gas like argon or nitrogen. The gases like argon and nitrogen do not react with the hot tungsten filament and hence prolong the life of the filament of the electric bulb. It should be noted that most of the electric power consumed by the filament of an electric bulb appears as heat, due to which the bulb becomes hot. Only a small amount of electric power is converted into light. So, filament type electric bulbs are not power efficient. On the other hand, tube lights are much more power efficient because they don't have any filaments. You should be knowing all these.
The heating effect of electric current is utilized in electric fuse also. Electric fuse is a protecting device. Electric fuse is used for protecting household wiring of electrical appliances. A fuse is a short length of a thin plated copper wire having a low melting point. The thin fuse wire has a higher resistance than the rest of the electrical wiring in the house. So what will happen? When the current in a household circuit rises too much due to some reason, then the fuse wire gets heated too much. And since the melting point is very less, what will it do? It melts and breaks the circuit, due to which the current stops flowing. This prevents the fire in the house due to the overheating of wire and also prevents the damages to various electrical appliances in the house due to the excessive current flowing through them. Therefore, an electric fuse is a very important application of heating effect of electric current. You should remember the wire used in the electric fuse is very thin and it has very low melting point. You can see in the diagram the construction of electric fuse. You will be learning more about electric fuse in next chapter. But as of now, you should be knowing electric fuse is used to break the circuit whenever current is flowing too much than the required amount. You can see in the circuit, a fuse is connected here. You can see the fuse which is connected here. Whenever there is excessive flow of current, what happens is it will melt. So when it melts, it is going to break the circuit. And when the circuit is not complete, what happens then? It results in an open circuit which will make the current not to flow further. This will prevent the damages. So you can see there are three different fuses here. A good fuse, slightly burnt fuse and totally burnt fuse. So suddenly when there is no power supply in your home, if you can see the fuse which is connected, and if it is in this condition, you should understand that the fuse is blown out and you have to replace this. Hope it is clear to you all. So now we all know what is the use of electric fuse. An electric fuse is an important application of the heating effect of electric current. When the current drawn in a domestic electric circuit increases beyond a certain value, the fuse wire gets overheated. It melts and breaks the circuit. This prevents the fire and damage to the various electrical appliances. But these days, electric fuse is replaced with MCB, which is called miniature circuit breakers. MCB is the abbreviated form of miniature circuit breakers. Don't you think it is a hectic job every time to change the fuse whenever it is blown out? So these days, it is replaced with miniature circuit breakers. This will automatically operate the electric switch and protect the electrical circuit also. And how it is more advantageous? They can be manually or automatically reset to restore normal operation. Fuses have to be replaced every time when they blow out. This is the advantage of MCB over fuse. You must have seen this in your home also. You can switch on and switch off MCB any number of times. But when the fuse is blown out, you have to replace it. There is no other choice. Dear students, by this session, electricity chapter is complete. I appreciate every student's interest towards learning. Without your cooperation and interest towards learning, the work whatever I did couldn't have pulled the lesson for 6 big sessions. So, thank you all of you. See you all in the next session with a new chapter in physics.